hard to get fights already, and then with this pandemic on top of it, you know, which also makes it hard. And when there's one show on, everyone wants to get on it because, you know, people haven't been fighting, so it's sort of hard to get your foot in there, especially being a female. So, but you know, look, my goal and mission has been to fight for another world title. So I'm not the type of person that gives up, and I don't want to give up because of a pandemic. You know, I've never been badly hurt in a boxing fight or in sparring or training or anything like that. No injuries, no knockdowns, no KOs, no nothing. So my reflexes are good. Everything's perfect. So it's just a matter of obviously getting in there, getting that ring rust out, and getting back in there and finish off on a high. You know, get a couple more belts in, and that'll be good. Hopefully.
So, welcome to the Last Minute Wrestling Podcast. Susie Q Ramadan, who is a multiple-time boxing champion from Australia. You're the first Australian here on this show, Susie. How are you doing?
Oh, well, I feel privileged now. I'm good. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I became aware of your career in boxing very recently because I think I saw someone posting one of your tweets on Twitter, and I started to follow you, and we briefly had an exchange, a communication, and I was like fascinated about your upbringing and the fact that on your website it says that you had this tough upbringing in Australia. That is what ultimately led you to boxing. Can you articulate a little bit on the story?
Well, you know, every boxer's got a story behind him. You know, I've obviously had a very challenging, you know, upbringing in life, and you know, look, I've had some good times, but you know, I had tough times at school. You know, got bullied as a kid, and you know, that made me turn into an angry little girl, and I was just getting up to no good, you know, hanging out with the wrong people, and you know, I wasn't doing doing too well with myself and my life. So you know, I was also you know, so many things, so many challenges, and I'm hoping to obviously you know, get a book out there one day and put more into detail with everything. But yeah, I mean, all I can say is there isn't anything that I haven't been through. So I've obviously punched through that in life, and got into boxing to help me, obviously, myself and my life, and to discipline me and everything. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're a kind of a late bloomer in boxing, because you had your first pro boxing match at the age of 27, if I'm not mistaken. And what sports were you into before getting into boxing?
Well, before boxing, I was actually playing soccer. So, and the same thing with soccer. You know, when I initially started, I didn't take it serious. Just to sort of push me to do some sport, you know, and you know, with the team and with people. So, I was the first year I was pretty bad. I was tripping over more than I could kick the ball. So I think that's when it was a sign for me, because it was like, well, there's other people in the team and I don't want to let them down, so I've got to improve and I've got to get better. And I put my mind to it, and I did. And since then, like that year, at the end of the year, I got most improved, and as I got better every year, got best and fairest every year, and played for the Nationals. And that was, you know, what gave me the buzz. So I learned more about myself and having that competitive streak in me. So, yeah.
In what position in the field were you playing while playing soccer?
Mainly centre midfield.
Center midfield, okay.
Yeah, I've played a little bit of all the other positions as well, but centre midfield was the main one, yeah.
Okay. And what made you switch to boxing? And at what age did you start also?
I can't remember the age. I mean, now it's been maybe my early 20s, or 19, maybe 21, around there. So I think it's more you know, soccer was pretty rough. Women's boxing, I mean, women's soccer wasn't so big back then either.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when I started playing for the Nationals, you know, most of the girls, they were established there for so many years, and this new person comes along and, you know, they weren't too happy about that. And so I got bullied a little bit and, you know, a couple of injuries. But I wanted something that was going to challenge me a lot more individually. I mean, look, boxing, you know, it's a team, but I wanted something for myself individually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that. And of course, with boxing being an individual sport, you had more way to communicate with others what you had inside, right? Well, do you consider yourself like an aggressive person or combative, of course, in sports?
I think we've all got some aggression. Well, you've got to have, I mean, aggression and passion together at the same time. It's when you accomplish things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of, you know, obviously managing your aggression. And I think that's where boxing helped me. Because of the challenges in life and getting bullied, it built up a lot of aggression inside me. Yes. You know, I was angry. But, you know, generally I'm a very happy person. I'm always smiling. But there was that anger and aggression inside of me. And and I think boxing was the best for me to learn how to compose myself and control all my emotion and aggression and all sorts of things. So
yeah, I mean, they say that in many ways boxing is also similar to chess, because you have to control your instincts, and you have to be a tactician more than an athlete as well.
Yeah, you've got to have the answers from A to Z, and you've always got to know what your next move is. And yeah, it's pretty much for me. That's how it sums it up. I think it's a chess game, but obviously it's a good one.
A pretty painful chess game. Yeah, yeah, we can agree on this one.
Well, don't get hit. It's not, you know.
In your career so far, you had 28 victories and just 3 losses, which is an incredible record. And you've held championships that were held by very accomplished women, such as Holly Holm, just to mention one, who went to have a great career so far in MMA as well. Did you ever consider MMA as a possibility?
A lot of people ask me that question, and you know, the thought has come across, you know, it's coming to mind, but it's just, I find it's a little more brutal, maybe. I don't know. I just like the fact that, you know, they got the rules in place for boxing. You can't punch someone when they're down on the floor, so you know, there's a lot. And it's just more of a mind game for me, and obviously the technical side of things, and you know, it's almost like ballet. But I know that, you know, a lot of women are doing well in MMA and UFC and all that, and it's you know, they're getting paid a lot better than in boxing. But I just love boxing too much. Yeah.
And what do you think of the Jake Paul, or whatever Paul brother is? I don't know, boxing matches so far?
You know, look, it's hard, because being a fighter, you know how much work you put in over the years, and you know, you fight not only in the ring, but you know, you do so much work outside of the ring to try and get recognized, and you know, to get the respect you deserve. And then you have someone just come along, and or because they've got some followers or whatever it may be, and then you know, they're getting paid a lot more than all these fighters who have worked for so many years. I mean, but you know, you can't blame him. At the end of the day, it's also the viewers who are the ones who are tuning in to watch that. And yeah, unfortunately, well, you know, it's kind of turning that way nowadays anyway. I think maybe if they matched better fights, and you know, the best fight the best, like they used to have in boxing, yeah, it might change, it might get better. But the way it's going, if the more not good fights we don't have, that we have, yeah, it's obviously people just going to get more interested in that sort of stuff. So, but you know, good luck to him. He's making his dollar, and I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, and at least to me, to an uninitiated person, the thing that always was so confusing in boxing is that there are so many federations, so many councils, and do you think that sometimes less is more, and would boxing as a whole benefit from maybe have a little less confusion on that side?
I mean, well, that's just in life in general. The less, the more. I think it's all about quality, not quantity. So, you know, it's especially for someone like me who's, you know, fought their way up the ranks. You know, I've done it the hard way, I've done it the proper way, and worked my way up. And then with all these so many other titles that, you know, people get after a couple of fights and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a little unfair, but I think it does make it too confusing, and it's almost like, well, everyone's a champion and it's kind of getting boring. So it would be a lot more exciting if, yeah, they cut the quantity down and yeah, leave it with the quality. Quality fights, quality titles, and yeah, leave it simple.
Yeah, I also agree with that. That's an issue in wrestling as well. For many years there were like 2 world championships, and the people were like, why there are 2 of them? It should be just 1. So yeah, I get it. And of course, this is a wrestling podcast, and you have to expect a very quick question about it. Do you know anything about wrestling? And there are many Australians thriving at the moment, actually, in the wrestling world. So if maybe you have heard anything about it.
Unfortunately, I only know people rolling around the ground. You know, I know there's more to it. You know, I have obviously I know some people who do wrestling, and it's, you know, it's a lot of hard work, you know, as well. So, and yeah, there's so many people getting involved in wrestling now, and because they're learning how to wrestle to also use that advantage for their obviously getting into MMA and UFC and all that sort of stuff. So yeah. It's a lot of strength, body strength work. So yeah, it's I should probably try it one day.
Susie, I've seen, if the record is correct online, that you had your latest match last year, I suppose, before the pandemic started. Are you planning to have another match, a few others? What's the future holding for you?
I've been planning it since the last fight, since last year when I had the fight. But unfortunately, I live in Melbourne, and you know, we're in lockdown still. So
that's bad.
The last 2 years, the pandemic's probably been the worst year in Melbourne, and it's been unfortunate because it's just been hard. Look, it's hard to get fights already, and then with this pandemic on top of it, you know, which also makes it hard. And when there's one show on, everyone wants to get on it because, you know, people haven't been fighting, so it's sort of hard to get your foot in there, especially being a female. So, but you know, look, my goal and mission has been to fight for another world title. So I'm not the type of person that gives up, and I don't want to give up because of a pandemic. You know, I've never been badly hurt in a boxing fight or in sparring or training or anything like that. No injuries, no knockdowns, no KOs, no nothing. So my reflexes are good. Everything's perfect. So it's just a matter of obviously getting in there, getting that ring rust out, and getting back in there and yeah, finish off on a high. You know, get a couple more belts in, and yeah, that'll be good. Hopefully, God will.
Is there any places that you will want to fight in, and any particular venue that you've always dreamt of being in?
Oh, well, you've always, you know, the dream's always like the mecca of boxing, which is, you know, America. So, you know, so that would be a dream come true. I know that there's some girls who fight under Golden Boy Promotion. So it's there's one girl I'm, you know, keeping my eye out for. So hopefully if she comes up to my weight division, you know, hopefully I'll be calling her out eventually. But yeah, that would definitely be a dream come true. Also, the UK, it's going really well over there. And Europe's starting to buzz as well. So, you know, but for me, I'll fight anywhere and, yeah, any place, anytime, anywhere. So,
yeah. And you have you have an Albanian and Turkish heritage, right? So you're kind of connected with Europe, I suppose.
yes, I was born in Australia, so I'm Australian, but my background is Albanian and some Turkish as well. So, yeah, it'd be good to fight in Europe and visit my relatives over there.
Do you keep in touch with them?
Yes, yes. I mean, look, I've got relatives in the UK as well, so they're just everywhere around the world. I still keep in touch. Social media, you can't lose anyone, so.
Yeah, I totally get it. So is there someone that maybe is learning boxing under your tutelage, someone that you're training with?
Yeah, I am actually. You know, I've got a girl who's very determined to fight. Obviously, again, because we've been in lockdown, she hasn't been able to train, but she actually texted me, you know, she just can't wait to get back and train. But she's someone who, you know, is a very quick learner, and she's, you know, she really wants to get in there and have some fights. And yeah, she learns very quickly, and she's got that drive. So I'm looking forward to teaching a lot more and see what happens.
And when you started out training in boxing, were there many female competitors or not?
No, there was no one even to spar. I would spar boys all the time. It's all males, which was good because I got a lot of experience. But yeah, there was not many girls around. Maybe 2 or 3 in Australia at that time. So that's where I get a couple of those fights. But, you know, it worked out well because I got to fight international opponents, obviously people who had more experience and stuff like that. So, and sparring the boys, which was good. So I pretty much paved the way for women's boxing here. And as soon as I got in the scene and started fighting, then more girls started to come in to the scene, which was really good. So I'm happy about that.
Would you consider this your biggest accomplishment?
I think, yeah, definitely paving the way for women's boxing. It's obviously a memory that, you know, I could never forget because I know I've made an impact and, you know, I've made some value there. So, yeah, that's one of them, but definitely probably the most one, I think. But, yeah, there's so many, though, so many. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine winning titles and championship is not too shabby as well. Yeah, as a memory.
Yeah. Well, that's and also the whole aspect of, you know, the life change. You know, I mean, when you see so many people who struggle to change their lives, and knowing that you know, you had that courage and push through all that and being able to do that, it's I think it's definitely an accomplishment.
Yeah, that's a great lesson to be learned here. Susie, thank you so much for your time. And before I'll let you go, would you like to plug all of your channels? Where can people find you? Where can our listeners find you?
Oh, they can find me anywhere on social media, Susie Q Ramadan. Also, I've got a website as well, www.susieqramadan.com.au. But yeah, just anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, I'm everywhere.
Perfect. And hopefully soon we can find you in a ring as well.
Yeah, that'll be awesome, and hopefully we can connect again. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was so much fun. Thank you so much, Susie.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye.